Is it possible for LOs to get more applications into their LOS, keep up with client and realtor expectations, free up days of more hours each month, and at the same time, stop the lender shopping? So up front, you have to understand and accept borrowers and realtors believe everything from start to the big green block at the end, the LO is in charge of. So what I found works to consistently close loans inside 16 to 21 days with as little turbulence as possible is building a quality origination packet at the start of the flow. And to always be closing, people always need to be completing your 1003. Now, for what's considered a normal year, using a conservative pull-through rate of 37.5% to do double-digit closings each month, you need no less than 40 applications. But are you ready for this? It's the human side of people that affects how many applications make it into your LOS. See, prospects, they have eyes eager to just go look at houses, minds time hopping to their new life in their new home, hearts excited to have fun and go fast. But then comes the LO with a loan application, killing the mood and slowing down the momentum of the home buying process. To the vast majority of borrowers, the experience around the loan application is it just feels cold, it feels intimidating, and frankly, it feels extremely invasive. So to get 40 applications and avoid being treated like a disposable commodity by people, you have to invest energy into having a conversation with people so you can create trust with them. If you don't create trust with people, you're not getting an application completed by them, and if you do, you're at high risk of getting lender shopped. To build the trust you need through conversation, creating goodwill and fun with people takes roughly 15 to 60 minutes of talk time. Using that 37.5 conservative pull-through rate from earlier to find the conversation to application count, to get at least 40 applications each month, you're speaking to a minimum of 105 new people every month. So to get double-digit closings each month, the time expense for you to put enough applications into your LOS starts at a price of 26 to 105 hours of your life every month. Did you catch that? Not 26 to 105 of your work hours, 26 to 105 of your life hours, because today's culture demands to have their 15 to 60 minute trust building conversation with you between the evening hours of 5:30 to 9 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday, all day Saturday, anytime Sunday. Pick a holiday and you're right there too, my friend. How much time is 105 hours? 105 hours is 13 regular 8-hour workdays. And that makes the real question, is it possible for LOs to get more applications into their LOS, keep up with client and realtor expectations, free up days of more hours each month, and at the same time, stop the lender shopping? It is now. There's an upgrade to the basket. LO Junior is here today, and this is completely amazing. We've programmed thousands of complicated fair lending guidelines and requirements into our origination engine and wrapped the charisma of a fun-spirited loan originator to create the humanized digital assistant you've been looking for. So what does LO Junior do? Its number one function is to pre-qualify anyone, anywhere, any time of day, night, weekend, or holiday through an easy-to-follow AI-led conversation that communicates in both English or Spanish. What is LO Junior's value add? The big value is the distinct difference you get from other LOs because of the results you can deliver within minutes of finishing a conversation with your LO Junior. I'll show you what this looks like because the wow factor for realtors is incredible. Hang on, because I'm about to show you how LO Junior replaces anxiety with confidence and how LO Junior proves just how easy you are to work with. Who's using LO Junior? The LOs who decided to first demonstrate massive upfront value and who are now profiting from the hours of time put back into their own life. And this is exciting. Here are just a handful of responses LO Junior has received from prospects, some of which are homeowners now. The concept you'll see that remains constant is everyone finds LO Junior to be fast, simple, and easy. And the speed of easy is what's converting more applications. Real quick, let's see what LO Junior is doing to put excitement into your pipeline and hours back into your life. LO Junior speeds up 5 traditionally time-consuming functions. First, let's check out this AI-led conversation. This soft, informal pre-loan checkup really makes a great first impression with people because our conversation gives them an early sense of comfort by conforming to their preferences. Whether they want to communicate in English or Spanish, work with the technology, or work directly with a real LO, if with a real LO, choose which day and time to talk, and if with the technology, there's no pressure to divulge any precious and sensitive information like social security numbers or birth dates right now. And when the prospect wants to buy a home, LO Junior can do this checkup while keeping the realtor in the know about what purchase price they might qualify for. And that's super exciting. I'll show you how that looks in just a minute. LO Junior is able to talk with new or existing property owners about purchases or refinances, about forbearances and mortgage rates, title liens and repayments, with employed, self-employed, unemployed, and fixed income earners, students and recent graduates, prospects with no credit to great credit, prospects who've experienced bankruptcy, foreclosure, eviction, repossession, and several more situations and countless more combinations of situations. Fun fact, LO Junior's conversation is considered so relaxing, prospects are more honest with it than they would be with their realtor or the real LO. And this was backed up in a February 2021 report citing 60 to 80% of patients withheld the full truth from their doctor in order to not feel judged. However, HealthView did report that online chatbots introduce a sense of detachment that can make it less embarrassing for people to share deeply personal information. Now, could you imagine being under contract and the deal fell apart in underwriting because your borrower never said anything to you or the realtor about their eviction last year because they were too embarrassed about it? That could be completely devastating. Fortunately, LO Junior can help you learn that secret in the very beginning. Now, the experience following the conversation is key to the conversion because your prospects instantly look at their results. Now, I gotta ask, can you see that feeling you get when someone reaches you with an urgent, so-and-so has to qualify right now? Could you imagine your life with no more family time interruptions because your LO Junior handles the talk with so-and-so and shows so-and-so and the realtor right then, right there how things look? Do you see how much value is instantly created for your prospects, your realtors, and for yourself? With LO Junior, you'd have answered so much of their mystery in lightning time. Real quick, can we take a pause to look at these two different results? Each prospect at this moment is going to experience a rush of feels: relief, disappointment, excitement, confusion, curiosity. In this flood of emotions, it's really one big feeling that makes or breaks the value of this moment: the feeling of being lost. And you know, it's wild how very quickly that lost feeling can set up a campsite around a prospect's heart if they don't know what to do next. And this is why LO Junior is so great. No matter what the result is, LO Junior guides people to the next action, the official loan application. For people who pre-qualify right now, they get 48 hours to complete their official application. But right here comes the question: what motivates people to take the next step? Great question, because once people get what they want, what's the incentive to keep going or even stay committed, right? LO Junior has a great capability that will automatically send a copy of the results letter to only the LO and the identified realtor within minutes of the prospect completing LO Junior's conversation. This means two things, and I need you to look at how this transforms your business. One, you as the producing LO didn't burn any of your time formatting a letter. You didn't burn any of your time typing an email, any time attaching that letter, or any time sending that email to your realtor partner. And two, because LO Junior sends the results letter to only the LO and the realtor, the prospect's proof of qualification is securely inside your partnership, meaning no snatch and grab prospects running off and shopping houses without your realtor. Are you seeing how this works for you? You're not losing any time now because the automated Junior LO you've always wanted did all this for you. And the speed at which your realtors get the results from you, they'll know they won't find what you have with anyone else. The fifth huge value is the findings report from LO Junior's conversation with your prospect. This report breaks down all the fair lending standards that were cross-referenced during the conversation your prospect had with LO Junior. And from the summary in this report, you can quickly make two decisions. One, decide which factors to include and even improve the prospect's official loan application. And two, decide which order you prefer to work with these prospects and at which time you want to work with them. 5 powerful automations intentionally engineered to put hours back into your life. Thousands of fair lending standards translated into an easy, quick AI-led conversation that's not too invasive too soon, that shows people where they stand in mere minutes, that rounds off the conversation with clear guidance into the next action, and that puts tailored information about your prospects immediately into your inbox so you can decide which prospects get priority on your production line. Let's wrap this conversation up by answering the big question: which LOs benefit most from LO Junior? Number one, LOs needing more hours. Every financing transaction that starts off with LO Junior puts days of hours back into your pocket. Number two, LOs wanting more conversations converted into applications in less time at any time. Giving people so much massive upfront value without them feeling invaded bridges almost all trust gaps and more easily converts them into loyal clients. Number three, LOs looking to be known for being the easiest to work with. The LO known for having easy resources that gets results fast attracts more business and helps dominate the competition, bar none. Number four, LOs looking to wow more realtors. Can you picture how outstanding you'll be seeing being the LO that realtors know can show them where their shoppers look to be with their financing in a matter of minutes, as opposed to that other LO that can do the qualifications sometime tomorrow or even beyond that? Seriously, you got to hear this.
Hey, that's awesome. I loved it, and it was so much easier to do it this way than waiting for somebody to return my phone call.
Oh my gosh, this was amazing. I got my results right away. Um, I mean, the ease of answering the questions was, it was bar none. I don't think there's anything out there that compares to this system. Thank you so much.
And Spencer says, I love the fact I could quickly enter my info and get an estimate of what I could qualify for. I'm a real estate professional, and I can see this being a huge benefit for my clients. It's so convenient to not have to set up an appointment and dig up documents to get a ballpark. With the quick ballpark figure, I know whether I want to take the next step. This is exactly something the industry needs. Lastly, Thank you for listening to what other producers are using in their origination business to create more time in their life and more value around themselves. I invite you to start enjoying what other LOs will experience this evening and this weekend. More memories with your loved ones, more happy realtors, more loyal prospects, and more finance-ready applications standing by for when you get back to your LOS. Hopefully it makes great sense for you to sign up now and put LO Junior to work for you today. However, before making any commitments, you might care to see more demonstrations of LO Junior in action, maybe find answers to commonly asked questions, or even check how LO Junior fits in your life right now. For whichever direction your conscience is guiding you, come meet LO Junior at lojunior.com, because for everything you want to do, LO Junior will walk with you every step of the way.